Why is it that people with complex trauma, when they feel like they're going to lose control, they just feel like the end of the world? Something terrible is going to happen. Everything's going to collapse. It's just going to be awful. So that is, again, a common symptom of complex trauma. And it really comes out of childhood fear stuff, where your nervous system is responding to the constant fear that it couldn't resolve and the sense of helplessness. So think of the fear in three categories, really. So first, there's a child in complex trauma that couldn't resolve the fear of being hurt, the fear of their needs not being met, the fear of bad things happening to them. All of those fears they weren't able to resolve. And so those are massive fears. And then there's the fear that's around shame, that if people see beyond my masks and they see the real me, then they're going to reject me. They're going to see that I'm a fraud. That's a massive fear. And then there's the fear around trust, that everybody that I've trusted has let me down, has hurt me. And so I can't trust anybody. I can't truly connect. And so there's a fear that comes into relationships now, that I might get hurt again because I can't trust people. So three massive fears that are under this. So somebody has said that being addicted to power and control is attempting to manage your external, outer world to soothe your internal world. In other words, your internal world's full of fear. Fear of being hurt, fear of your needs not being met, fear of being rejected. All of these fears we've talked about. So if I can manage my external world, that will calm those fears. That will fix those fears. It really won't, but it seems to help a little bit. Somebody else has said those addicted to power and control need to control others, not because there are issues in the others, but because of something wounded deep inside of them. So they're trying to solve that internal fear. They will try to say that they do it because of the other person's behavior or attitude, but that's a lie. So let me just break this down for you. If you think of a child in complex trauma, one way we try to explain it is that it's basically being helpless, unable to resolve the problems in their life. So they're getting hurt, they can't resolve that. Their needs aren't being met, they can't resolve that. They have all these painful emotions, they can't resolve that. There's no one there to care for them. In fact, those in the position of control over them, the positions of authority, are the ones neglecting them and hurting them. And so you can see that it'd be very easy for that child to say, the way to finally get my needs met and not get hurt is if I'm in control. So when I grow up, when I get bigger, I need to be in control. That will solve all of these problems. Then you also have children in complex trauma who grow up in homes where they weren't given choices. They weren't given opportunities to make choices. The parents were afraid they might fail. The parents were afraid the child might make them look bad. And so the parent controlled everything in that child's life. That child was frustrated. That child realized that they were being mistreated by not being allowed to follow their desires and passions and try new things. And so they, again, think, I can't wait till I grow up and then I have agency and I can do what I want and be in control. Another scenario is a child that grows up where they begin to realize that every time they connect to their parents or their parents want to connect with them, the parents then take the warm feelings the child is having because of that connection and use it to manipulate them, to get them to do what they want. And so connection equals this dependency, which then means you're going to get used. And so their solution is the only way to not get used is to not connect. Therefore, you must be self-sufficient. You must not need anybody. That means you must be in control. And then some grew up with a very controlling parent to the point that the child just rebelled. They became defiant. They hated that parent. And so they determined that they were not going to submit to that parent. They rebelled. But what then happened was they become like the parent because now they must control everything so that their parent doesn't have any influence, doesn't have any say, and they end up becoming controlling just like the parent that they hate. And then I think for many that were abused, physically, sexually, whatever, that deep sense of, I just wish I was big and strong so that I could stop this. And the only way is to gain power and control, then I can prevent abuse ever happening again. So if you stop and think about it, what do you see happening in the child is it looks like control, being in control, is the solution to all of their problems. So I can't be in control right now because I'm too little. But one day, if I can be in control, that will solve my shame problem. People won't be able to see beyond my mask because I will control my image. I'll get my needs met. I will make sure that happens. I won't have to trust people because I will be in control. I won't get hurt because I will be in control. I don't have to worry about change, the unknown, because I will be in control. It will be helpful for my anxiety. It will make it so I'm not abandoned again because I will be in control in relationships. So control seems like the solution to so many of their problems. But what they don't realize is 20, 30 years down the road, they begin to come to the realization that this control thing is not delivering what was promised. It is now causing more problems than it's solving. It is now causing their children to rebel. It's messing up their relationships. They can't have intimacy. They can't drop their guard and be vulnerable. They can't give up control and let others make choices. They can't connect. All of that prevents healthy relationships. It creates all this extra stress in their life to manage everything and the anxiety that goes with that. And it just feeds the problem even more, and it feeds shame. So control doesn't work, but giving up control is so scary. So what you need to understand is that you need to control because you're with unsafe people. When you're with safe people, you can learn to trust and you can give up control. So having safe people in your life is again an essential starting point. But let me just give you a couple other pieces very quickly. You've got to heal that shame that basically drives you. You've got to maintain the image, the mask, and control what people think about you. That means you got to face all of the fears that are driving this control. Stop blaming others and saying they're the problem. Start looking at the fears that your control is trying to solve and take away. So what I hope you're seeing is dealing with control is you got to deal with your internal issues. There's not some little magic buttons that you change that all of a sudden takes that away the need to control. You've got to deal with some deep, deep issues. So I hope this helps you understand some of your potential control issues and gives you a bit of guidance and where to go from here. If it did, please like, subscribe, share, make a comment. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.